Hello and welcome to this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest. The topic is private-public peace. But before we go into that topic, if you're interested in spiritual medicine and light medicine, would love if you'd hit the subscribe button and perhaps the notification bell so every time I do a new video, you will be notified. So I'm the founder of the Academy of Light Medicine and the TOLPAKAN Healing Method. Every week, we do a specific topic that source has asked me to share on, and sometimes I don't know until 5 minutes before I do the video what I'm talking about. So things will happen in my life that will reflect the topic of the week. Sometimes it's what other people have been healing when I do my VIPs. Other times it's the whole community, right? This week it really was more personal, actually. And so what's the topic? Well, public, private, peace. Private, public, peace. What is that about? I did not understand that there is a difference between lawful and legal. I thought they were the same things. Yep, I also did not know that there's a difference. Of course, energetically, I get it now. But there's a difference between referring to myself as a human or a citizen versus a man or a woman. Very, very different energies. And these words mean completely different things. And what I'm learning from this course I'm taking called The Sovereign's Way by Greg Paul and John Little is that we have very little knowledge of how the world really works. And that what is legal is in what we call the public. So when I take a title like doctor, right, Dr. Karen Can, when I take that title, or taxpayer is another title, or even citizen, which means beholden to a government. Why would I ever say that about myself? Anyway, those things are all what are called public fictions. Yes, it's not who we really are. Who are we really? A man or a woman. And it means completely different from all these other terms and titles. And in fact, it's like there's God and there's man and woman. And then all the other titles are way down here, in terms of stature, if you were going to put it in that kind of hierarchy. And so even though in our society we kind of look at these titles like police officer or politician or president, and we put them on, or queen, right? We put them on these pedestals. It actually is much, much lower when it comes to law and law form, lawfulness, if you will. I'm probably not even using the perfect terms because I'm just learning this stuff, guys. So just bear with me. It's very, very different, man and woman next to God. Wow. And how this is highlighted personally in my life, I'm going to be really transparent as I like to be, right? Is I got audited by the New York State Insurance Fund. Now, these guys are an insurance company, and I signed up with them because after I formed my LLC, you have to have workman's compensation. And in the past, when I had an acupuncture office, I'm not even sure which company we'd gone to for workman's compensation. It was a different Main Street of America, I think it was. I had a number of employees. Then we pay insurance for workman's comp. Heaven forbid they slip and fall on my steps, right? The acupuncture office, or have carpal tunnel from typing on the computer, right? It's all covered under workman's comp. So that was kind of normal stuff, everyday normal running of the business. What I did not realize is that when somebody like myself who runs a business in this particular state, that if I have contractors and employees, if I have a lot more contractors than employees, because my contractors and staff team work from all over the, different countries, different states, right? That in New York State and the New York State Insurance Fund is one of the only insurances that actually cover workman's comp for contractors. Well, I didn't know that, and this is quote unquote ignorance on my part, I did not know that workman's compensation was required by the insurance company. So all my team members are supposed to have their own workman's comp. It's like, yeah, a mom with 3 little kids, seriously? What are they gonna do? Like break a fingernail and, like, I'm sorry, I'm being facetious. But so is it a law that they have to have workman's comp insurance? It's not a law. It's just a policy. It's just a policy. So, I got audited. The auditor tried to explain this to me that they're just doing their job. Like the insurance company has to audit this person. She has a lot more people on her payroll than just these employees. And long story short, every single one of them, including the contractors, in Canada, elsewhere, right? That I owe the insurance company money because I didn't get them workman's comp. Because I was thinking, why would I? Right? Like they work at home, it's pretty safe at home, like they're not at an office where I clearly understand, if I don't put sand or salt and they trip and fall on my, my property, I get that part, right? Like I got the whole workman's comp thing, but I didn't know that it was expected. And not only that, um, yeah, there probably is going to be some letter coming in the mail to say, hey, you owe us tens of thousands of dollars in these things. So here's the thing. Does it make sense that they charge people who work remotely from home for workman's comp? I don't think it does. Tell me in the comments if you do think it does, okay? I don't think it does, but that's besides the point. Besides the point, because in New York State, you have to have some sort of workman's comp. And because you have to have it, if you have any sort of employee, right? This also applies to those that are not employees as well. Is it fair? Probably not. Do I, on some level, if I cared to have a mutual fund where I would benefit from all these people paying stuff that is not necessary? Yeah, probably, but I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a shareholder, for any insurance company, actually. So that's the public. My LLC is in the public. And therefore, the rules, the, taxes, all that stuff is part of the public realm. But what I'm learning is in the private, that's very different. It's an agreement between a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman, or a man and a man, right? It's not between my LLC and something else. I mean, I could do an LLC to a man or woman, but that may not actually help me financially when I can't deduct things if I'm choosing to pay taxes, which I have chosen to do so far, right? So it's like a big blank. None of my accountants know about it. They're pretty smart people. They're amazing people. They don't know about working in the private. They don't understand the difference between income, the word income, and compensation for labor. They don't know the difference between the word and title farmer and a person who occasionally takes care of animals and plants. Yeah, guys, seriously, it's that specific. So I am still in grade school when it comes to this stuff. And I think the universe, because of this audit, because of other things, really pushing me in that direction to be cognizant and aware and mindful of what I'm actually agreeing to. Because many of us say we desire to know the truth. There's a saying that says money makes the world go round, and all of our motivations have to do with, or decisions, if you will, and actions have to do with money. Well, maybe that's true. Hate to admit it, but maybe that's true. And if you're like, oh, no, 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 that's not true for me, I'm like, okay, would you like to come to my Light Warrior training camp here at this beautiful Lake Claire Lodge? Well, yeah. Well, why aren't you coming? Well, I can't really afford it. Is that not a decision based on money? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So it's kind of an ouchy subject. It's kind of an ouchy subject. And so, what if we were willing to know the truth, right, of how the system works, how the system does not necessarily support small time entrepreneurs like myself, and in fact, probably is dissuading us, possibly wanting us to give up. For example, the beneficiary ownership information, BOI. That's new. Heard of that? If you're an LLC or a sole proprietor, it might be relevant to you. And that's something that they decided that, oh, we're going to make people file this thing, like, where's your money going to? And if you look at the website, it's like fraud, like fraud investigation. I'm like, seriously? Okay, so I have to jump up through all these hoops, right? And if I don't do it on time, well, if you're a new business, oh, forget it. You got to do it right away. Otherwise, it's $500 a fine a day. US, by the way. A day. But guess who's exempt from that filing? Big corporations. Amazon doesn't have to file it. Nope. Microsoft doesn't have to file it. Nope. But if you're a little dinky LLC, yes, you have to file it because there might be fraud. Oh my gosh. Yeah, anyway, it looks good on paper if you don't know that, oh, yeah, people are like, oh, Mr. Governmente, please protect me, right, from these terrible people. But at the end of the day, once you start seeing these patterns, you see where, oh, there's a money gouge, there's another money gouge. I really have to follow that, but that's real stupid. I don't have to follow that rule, right? And it's like this hemming in. But here's the really cool thing about all of that is as we get to know how the world works in the public, we can, if we desire to, choose to learn how to function in the private. Yeah, it sort of feels like university. But now that I'm learning it, it's actually not that hard. But I just was completely ignorant of this other way, right? We've all been like, wool over the eyes, right? You have to do it this way. You have to be a citizen. You have to pay your taxes, like all these things. Well, I can definitely understand why those that do benefit from that do not desire for us to know this other way, which is the way of peace. Now, you can be peaceful and choose to be a taxpayer and all that stuff, and I've chosen to do that up until this point. You can still be at peace, and that's the thing. It's like if you're afraid of it, if you're fearing it, if you're angry, like, oh, the stupid system, blah blah blah, that doesn't help because you just bring on more of the energy back to you. But once we know how it works and the facts of how it works, we can then make a conscious choice in peace, and that's the power. I could actually make this private, public, peace, and power for peace. Anyway, a lot of peace here. So this is very interesting. Now, if you're interested in studying some of the stuff that I'm studying, I'll put a link near this video. I think there's like a free, this is an affiliate link, by the way, a free video that you can check out. I really like the main teacher, Greg Paul. Actually, I like John Little too. John's hilarious. And Greg is, doesn't make any excuses for who he is. He's very peaceful. He doesn't get riled up, and he's really done his inner work. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty impressed with the guy, and just some of the facts about law versus legal. John says he's the teacher that kind of helps us do the practical stuff. He's like, if he gets to go to court, he's happy. Why? Because he understands this very well. And he's actually educating the jury. He's actually educating people in court. So you know what? They don't want him there. They see his name and they're like, no, 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 no. Just give him what he wants. They don't want him there, right? It's hilarious. It's so funny. And wouldn't it be amazing for us to have that degree of confidence? So, if you get stopped by a police officer, instead of cowering in fear because of this authority figure, you're like, oh, great, I get to talk to my public servant, the one who works for me, right? Like this, like God John talks. Anyway, it is a great course. I'm making my way slowly through it. I have an accountability partner, so that's really, really helpful. Very helpful. This week, I'd like to do a TOLPAKAN Healing Activation on clearing the way for us to be able to not just tolerate, but be able to welcome clarity of the systems that are in play in our lives and really take self-responsibility and ownership for our lives, realizing that it's a choice. No one's making us do anything. Like most of us don't have a gun to our heads, right? 24/7, right? So we're choosing our lives. And it's okay if you choose to stay in the public and be a taxpayer and be a citizen and be protected by the government and whatever, right? Or it's completely okay if you choose to function in the private and learn how to do that, which I'm slowly learning to do. And I haven't made my decision yet on exactly how that's going to look business wise, right? Or maybe there's no business. Maybe it's just me compensating people for their labor. Who knows? I haven't finished the course. And I fully intend to and be self-responsible to really understand what's going on. So let's do TOLPAKAN Healing Activation. So if you'd like to receive this healing and are willing to receive, just make that internal intention to be willing to receive. Let's get into our bodies, get into this moment of now. You can go ahead and rub your hands if you'd like, nice and quickly, get some heat going just to get some chi and energy flowing, and then relax, close your eyes if it's safe for you to do so. Focus on the inside of your body, where your hands are, wherever you are moving. Follow any flow or movement wherever it goes. And just continue focusing on the flow as I do the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation. And perhaps you might notice a shift. It's okay if you don't, but just notice the body, notice the energy. We'll do a few activations here. Here we go. I now command anything preventing us from clarity of vision, knowing the truth of our choices, the truth of perhaps choices we didn't even know we made inadvertently. Be able to be in our space with peace. It's now commanded that any resistance and unwillingness to know the truth, to be able to make an empowered and informed choice, be healed and resolved in the highest and best of all directions of time, with speed, ease, and grace. It's now commanded that the positomorphic fields of power, of empowerment, of self-worth, self-trust, self-forgiveness, self-empowerment be downloaded and activated, the newest version possible, the highest and best way all directions of time with speed, ease, and grace. It's now commanded that anything causing or contributing to the feeling of overwhelm, and that includes our thoughts, subconscious patterns, energies that we feel that isn't ours, or even energies purposefully created and made to overwhelm us, be deleted, dissolved, non-created, or transmuted to the polar opposite, whatever is appropriate, highest and best way all directions time with speed, ease, and grace. It's now commanded that we be able to get into a place of singular stillness and focus of who we truly are as a soul, as a fractal of source, connected in love and peace and joy, that all this other stuff out here is just an experience for you, the man, or you, the woman, or me, the woman. Bringing that love, bringing that peace, grounded in the reality of who we truly are, who we desire to be in our experience in this lifetime. For this and all other blessings, give her thanks and gratitude, so be it, and so it is. Okay, so just kind of let that settle into your body. Perhaps open your eyes. If your eyes are closed, you can go ahead and fill in the comments anything you notice, any ahas, any fears come up, anything's resolved, any energy shift for you. I'm very, very curious how that is and whether what I've said today is shocking. That's okay too. Let's do some announcements for this week on Light Warrior Radio. My guest, this is the really, really great podcast replay for Katie Bray, who has changed her name actually, is now Sita Severson. And it's about energy leaks. Yeah, the 5 different types of energy leaks. And goodness knows, some of us have to be very sensitive souls anyway, cognizant and attentive about leaking our energies in ways that we don't even know. It happens almost every day. So we're going to talk about those primary energy leaks and also how to use your energy to co-create what it is you desire rather than let it leak out. So I think this is be super, super cool for you to listen to and see if it resonates with you. We'll put the link below. That's airing again Monday at 12 noon Eastern. And just some reminders for things happening, events happening in the light medicine community. Number 1 is we are in full swing of the telesummit called the Chronic Illness Code. So that particular one is all around ticks, toxins, and mold, and it's summit with lots of different interviews, plenty of amazing teachers on there. Interestingly, I'm one of the woo-woo ones. That's like sort of like we're talking about ticks and mold, and over here, Dr. Karen's talking about 7 boundaries. But that's okay, right? Because the interviewer was like, I see sensitive souls all the time. And what you're talking about are beyond the physical boundaries. You're talking about energetic, spiritual, dimensional, mental, emotional boundaries. These are really important for people getting better who are in the past having had lots of symptoms related to their chronic illness. So I was like, okay, I'll accept that challenge. So that, let me check the date of that interview that I'm in is airing for 24 hours beginning Sunday, May 12th. Restoring your 7 boundaries for a 360-degree wholeness. So yes, definitely catch that. So you do have to opt in to the summit so they can email you the links for every day's events. And don't worry if you, um, you know, do not want to listen to some, you want to listen to others, that's completely fine. It's free to listen to. If you want the replays, of course, there is, I think, a special for that, for all the recordings, if it resonates with you. I really hope that you enjoy my interview because I really enjoyed doing it. Back in November, I think I did it. So that's going on right now, that full launch. And then another reminder is the Light Warrior Training Camp, Superpower Intensive here at the Lake Clear Lodge. Love to share some of these sunsets with you, sing, dance, play, train together. And we are in the middle of our early bird, which ends later on in May. So we definitely want to have you join us as soon as possible because there are limited spots for early bird. So I'll put that link near this video as well so you can join me at this camp, which is probably the last one in North America for quite some time. Please do connect with us in the light medicine community. We have stuff going on all the time, like our monthly free mini healings. We also have a place where you can chat about our spiritual medicine digest for the week. Share your comments in the privacy of that community and tag me on it so I know that you have a question or have a comment. Would love that. So we'll put that link down below as well to the free community on Circle, the Light Medicine community, that you can join at any time. And feel free to share that link as well as this video with anyone you think who might like it. And remember to subscribe and please comment. Let me know how that TOLPAKAN Healing Activation was for you. And remember, there is a link below to the Sovereign's Way. I'm going to put that free Q&A link, which is very, very interesting stuff. Absolutely free for you. And if you want to learn more about the knowledge share and things like that, please tag me in the light medicine community. I can give you more links, but we just wanted just to give one this time. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week for the next Spiritual Medicine Digest. Until then, lots of love and bye for now.